opened up your Google map image. So you have it here on layer 1. Sounds great. So what I'm going to go ahead and do first is make a copy. Command J. So we have a copy. Always we do. And what I'm going to do here is I have my layer 1. That's great. And I'm going to lock it. So nothing can happen to that original image layer. So go ahead and click on lock. Layer 1 is locked. Great. I'm on layer 1 copy. The first thing I notice is I took a screenshot. It's pretty crisp, pretty great. Have a lot of interesting elements. But what I don't want is this. This was included in the screenshot. So what I like to do is I'd like to crop the image. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the crop tool. There you go, or press C, and I'm just going to move it like that and press return. Great, it's cropped. Now I can work on playing around, having different masks, different actions, etc. I'm not going to go through that with you because that'll be another tutorial. Now I want to save this image. I've been working at it and I want to save it. So I'm going to go ahead, save as. First, I'm going to save this screenshot as a PSD file because a PSD file will allow me to have all my layers, all my selections, all intact. So I'm going to save it as my last name. Let's say 2 because that's the assignment. I'm going to check where. I have all these different folders. I'm going to do it in my Digital Media 1 folder, format, Photoshop. Definitely keep my layers and save. That will save everything. Now, my teacher asked me that I need to save this as a JPEG. So, but first, I want to make sure that I'm saving it at the correct ratio for the screen. So I'm going to go ahead and press image, image size, and I'm going to see here my dimensions, my width and my height, which are locked by a lock to make sure that the ratio stays. First, my resolution is 72. Excellent. That's the resolution for the screen it needs to be. And I'm seeing my width and height. Now, my teacher said my height should be between 600 and 1,000 pixels. So 935 is great. I don't have to change anything to this original size. So if it was, let's say 1200, I'd have to change it back to 1,000. But I definitely want to make sure that I keep it at the original image. You do not want to start saving your image at a lower or at a higher height resolution, because what's going to happen if I save it as 1400, let's say, change the image size, it starts to get kind of pixelated. I definitely don't want that. So I can always scale down without losing any components of the image, but as soon as I start to scale up, it'll be out of focus because you're asking Photoshop to enlarge the pixels in your image. So when you enlarge pixels, of course, it gets more fuzzy. So I'm going to go ahead and do Command Z to change that. And then I'm going to save as, and now as a JPEG. So I'm going to save it the same way. Number 2, without the dash, format, JPEG. Not JPEG Stereo, JPEG 2000, just JPEG. There you go. We don't have it giving you a warning that you're not going to keep your layers. It's just going to be a flattened image because it's a JPEG. So I go ahead and save. I choose my quality to be maximum. That's the best. And it's in a JPEG. Now, of course, you still have all your layers, all your components, because you're still working within the PSD and you've just saved an extra JPEG. I hope that helps.